Hey everyone, so this is my uh, cold steel pipe hawk. Now I should have done an unboxing video, but I didn't. I still wanted to show you uh, how it came. This is just kind of right out of the box. I did take the set screw out because I wanted to see how well it was uh, the retention was to this the wooden stick, and it was awful, really. There's no retention, and as you can see, it had kind of folded up the wood. Now I actually, before doing this video, which I really should have showed you, was how bad this actually did look. I did kind of clean it up a little bit, but it was much worse than this. And I'm still going to do some work on it. And as you can see, that set screw, it kind of bored a hole right through it. And as soon as I took the set screw off, the head of the tomahawk just fell off. It was like that was the only thing holding it in place. So I'm really hoping I can get some retention once I clean this up a little bit, sand it down. I have very little amount to work with, which is kind of worrying me. I don't want to have to buy a new handle, but I'm hoping that that's going to be enough for me to get some retention, even if it has to go a little higher. But and here's the head of the tomahawk. I should probably take this off. So this is kind of like a summer project, I guess. I'm gonna take my time working on this. My plan is to sand down the wood handle and put a different coat on it and make sure the head fits well. At the moment, I don't plan on cutting down the size. I'm just going to leave it the way it is. With the head, I'm planning to remove the black painting, the black paint or coating, whatever they have on it, and sharpen it, of course. So this, even though it comes with this little plastic coating, it is completely blunt. I mean, super blunt. I'm actually running my finger right on the blade and it's not doing anything. So anyway, I just wanted to actually show you what it looked like when I got it, and I'm gonna see what I can do with it and make it look better. Hey everyone, so I thought I'll just give you an update on how my tomahawk's coming along. So I've kind of spent most of the time so far working on the handle. I sanded it down. I used a bunch of different grit sandpaper. There's 60 grit, 80 grit, 100, and 120. As you can see, it's lost that coating it had on it, which is fine. It's actually pretty smooth now after the 150 grit. This was a tough part. As you can see where that line was before. In my previous video, you would have seen the wood curling up. Well, I had to, I had to sandpaper it down, but I also didn't want to overdo it. So anyway, I was able to do this. This is as good as I think it's gonna get. I'm not gonna go more than that. There's still a bit of a lip here, but you know what? It's not actually a lip. It just kind of goes in, but it's, well, I'll show you that in a second. So I didn't do much to the head of the tomahawk yet. What I did do was I smoothed out this whole area here, as well as this whole area here. And I used a metal file for that. And that actually made a big difference, because with this sharp edge over here, when I was sliding it up, it was still kind of locking in, like digging into the wood. In fact, even when sliding it off, I would feel it like kind of start to scrape the wood as it was coming down. So using the file on this really, and smoothing this part out, really helped. As you can see, you can kind of see the silver area where I've kind of scraped off the paint. I don't know, maybe I should have done that after I had removed the paint, but anyway, I may even go over it again after I remove this black coating. But I had to do that just to see how well it would fit on the stick and on the handle. And you know, let me try to show you that now. So what I really like about this is when you look at it now, if you look at the hole where the Allen screw used to be, the hex screw used to be, you can actually see that it's not totally in line. It's actually moved, the holes moved to the bottom, which means this is actually really sitting up there. And remember when I first got this, as soon as I took this Allen screw out, the head just like totally slid off. There was like no retention whatsoever. But now, like, let me just knock this one from the ground so you can. Now it's holding just with friction retention, you know, whatever you call it, but it's holding on there. And like I actually didn't even give it a good tap, but I'm sure if I gave it a proper on concrete or whatever, it wouldn't go anywhere. And again, like I said, can you see that? Can you see where the hole used to be and where how further up high the head of the tomahawk is now? So that makes me kind of glad that I was able to get rid. Hold on. I was able to get rid of these without kind of losing the flare that causes the retention. Hey everyone, so today I decided to strip the paint off of the tomahawk head. Just kind of came outside because this is what I'm going to be using. Clean strip paint stripper, and I decided to just come outside because this stuff may be toxic. So I'm gonna get this going, and it's probably gonna take some time, but I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. So I've put one coat of the paint stripper on. I'm gonna leave it on for a while. It smells pretty strong, so I'm gonna step back. So this has been on for about half an hour now, and I'm gonna use some of this steel wool to wipe it off and see if the paint comes off. So I'm gonna put my gloves on and do that. I'm gonna do that off camera. Just because it's difficult for me to hold the camera and do this, and you'll see what it looks like. Hey everyone, so this is after the paint stripping. Now I gotta be honest with you, it didn't go as well as I hoped. I applied the paint stripper, as you probably saw in my last clip, and I let it sit for about half an hour, and then I used some steel wool and began to just wipe it off, and it hadn't removed much at all. And I mean, it kind of removed a top layer, maybe like a top kind of coating or whatever, but I could still, it didn't just look like the steel itself. And so I sprayed a second coating, and I left that on for another half an hour. And when I got back and cleaned it off, I decided I was enough with the paint stripper. I'm going to bring it in. I rinsed it out and then took a look at it. And let me see if I can show you this. Can you see this area up there? This is what the paint stripper did, and it's great. It actually went down right to the metal, but all of this surface was still all black, and even up here it was still like, you know, towards the middle area, all this kind of, maybe the paint was thicker or it had dried on harder or something. So I actually used some sand. You can see this spot right here. I couldn't even get that off with the sandpaper. Anyway, I'm gonna stop with that, and that is the head of the Tomahawk for now. I also want to do another update on the handle. And here it is. I'm actually going to show you the cut part, and this is the cut version. So like, let me put this up here so you can get an idea of it being 22, and I cut it down to like, I mean, I'm going to go over this again, but I did a little bit of sanding just to get, you know, it looked like this basically. It was a pretty sharp edge, and it was just very rough, and so I smoothed it out. And like I said, I think I'm going to go over it a little more, kind of flatten this out a little bit more. But yeah, now it's exactly 18 inches. Hey everyone, so this is the Tomahawk head after I left it in white vinegar for about 10 to 15 minutes. I had it in a container where I had to put it in this way, and it covered about this much, and then I flipped it over and did the other side. As you can see, it's given it this kind of a yellowish hue. I kind of like it. I wish I had gotten rid of more of the paint, like this stuff here, but still all the other areas kind of, I don't know if you can see it in the light, but it's still fairly blunt, so I'm gonna have to sharpen it. Hey everyone, so today I'm gonna put the wood stain on the handle. I've sanded this down like a bunch of times. It's pretty smooth now, so I'm gonna just do that. I'm outside again to get this part done. I'm actually in the back of my car right now, but yeah, so I'm gonna put the stain on, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. Hey everyone, so this is the handle of the Tomahawk after I finished staining it. It came out alright. There are some spots which didn't take up the stain that good, but overall it came out fine. I don't mind. I did put the head back on, and it kind of scraped a little bit of the paint off. Still, it's the retention is great. Let me put it on. I don't even have to knock it to get it to lock, but I'm sure if I do, it'll be really in there. But yeah, this is it. If anything, I'm just gonna do like some, I'm tempted to put a cross leather strap over here, but I don't know if I want to do that, or if I do, I'm gonna make it easy to remove so that I can always take the head of the Tomahawk off whenever I need to. I also didn't really sharpen the tip yet. I'm going to do that. It's still not not very sharp. Maybe it's a little bit. I just went over some sandpaper over that, but I'm actually going to use a sharpening stone to sharpen it. I'm probably just going to take a photograph, like an after photograph, and compare it at the end of the video, but I don't think I'm going to show it again. I did get a couple of items for this. One of the items is a sheath for the blade, and I got this off of eBay. The regular sheath, I mean the Tomahawk doesn't come with the sheath, but you can buy one from Cold Steel. It's made out of Cordura or nylon, I'm not sure, but it's very cheap. It's about $5. This was about 15, and it's a Kydex sheet that's with it on. It's very it's on pretty secure when it's on. And I also got a leather belt loop holster for it. Also do like the length I cut it to, the 18-inch handle. I'm not a very tall person, so having it at 18 inches is actually comfortable when I'm wearing it or using it. So yeah, this is my first Cold Steel Pipe Hawk. Thanks for watching, everyone.